Hello guys, welcome back to my channel CS Tech Vidya. I hope you have seen the first video, that introduction to the full stack web application development course, and we have covered little introduction and who are the target audience and what are we going to achieve in the next 15 days, and we have seen the concepts that we can cover in the Python programming language. Okay, so before jumping into actual Python topics, okay, what is Python, history of Python, and what we can develop with Python and all. Okay, let's explore what is programming language. What is programming language, and how does a software works? How does a software works? Okay, yes, I will explain with very high level and with clear instructions. So if you have any questions, or like, I mean, if you don't, if you want, if it is not understandable, or if you want more details, so please comment, or you can contact me on my number, so I will definitely help. Okay, yes, so this is my contact. Okay, you can contact me on this number. Okay, yes. Okay, programming is the process of giving instructions to computer. Okay, why we need to give instructions to computer? Why we need to give instructions to computer? Okay, if you observe, every software works on computer. Okay, every software works and runs on computer. Okay, every software works and runs on computer. Okay, so these computer, whenever you ask anything, like, I mean, if you are doing some calculation, okay, let's assume in your mobile, if you are doing some calculation, okay, every time you need to give the values, you need to use the proper operators, and automatically the underlying program, it will do the required operation, and it will give the results, right? Okay, so similarly, every software, like, I mean, e-commerce, entertainment, OTT, or social media, anything, so that will run on computer. So it has the capability to listen your request, and it has the capability to give the response back to you. Whatever you ask, it will process the request and it will respond. Okay, so but I mean, so this computer, okay, this computer, it will use some hardware components to process your request and generate the response. Okay, that is operating system, memory, processor, CPU, some networking interface card, and some other components. Okay, yes. So just assume, so whenever you purchase any mobile or any RAM or any electronic device, like, I mean, smart device, TV, or like, I mean, watch, or like, anything. Okay, what you will check? So first you will check what is OS, what is the memory, how much RAM, and how much hard disk, and what is the processor. Correct? You will check. Okay, why? Because so the proper and sufficient memory and sufficient processor, okay, so this will help you to boost up your application performance, and it will makes easy your job. Correct? Like, I mean, if you wanted to record a video, or if you wanted to take a, like, I mean, picture, like, I mean, image with quality, okay, or if you wanted to store multiple files, or if you are fond of playing games, okay, you need high-end processor, and you need high-end GPU, and you need high-end memory, right? So similarly, every software works on computer. So this computer called server. Okay, so this will run on any one of the cloud. Okay, any one of the cloud. So this cloud, in the cloud, your application, it will have very strong, like, I mean, very powerful environment, like OS, memory, processor, CPU, and these components only will perform actual job of your request. Okay, actual job of your request. Okay, so I said these instructions will understand instructions only in zeros and ones. So how we can develop the Amazon e-commerce, like, I mean, Facebook, WhatsApp, all the applications, only using zeros and ones, only using zeros and ones. Okay, it is very impossible, right? Okay, to overcome such challenges, so we have types of, like, I mean, we have some languages to interact with the computer, nothing but this hardware. Okay, so this is how you should know what is a programming language, and why it runs on computer, and why we need to give the instructions to computer. Okay, let's take an important thing, one more thing. Okay, your application, okay, whether it is Amazon or social media or anything, it can't directly interact with the memory or hardware. It can't directly interact with the hardware or memory. It needs intermediate layer called operating system. So this operating system will give you the access to interact with the hardware. Okay, as a programmer, as a developer, as an application owner, as a customer or user, whatever the role you have, okay, you can't directly access the hardware. only operating system which will enable you to connect with the hardware and run your instructions and generate the response and send back to the user. Okay, yes. Okay, so you can ask me a question. Okay, to develop such application, whether should we learn operating system and hardware also? Not required, guys. Not required, guys. Only you should know what is the operating system you are using, whether your application supports are enough, this hardware is enough to run your application or not. That is the basic idea is enough. Okay, so as part of our program, we'll focus only on building our application rather than focusing on operating system, hardware, how it will interact, how we can connect with the operating system, how we can send the data to operating system, how we can convert our instructions to zeros, and we no need to bother. Okay, the programming language which you have chosen, either Python, Java, C++, so they will have internal programs. So those programs will take all your instructions, they will interact with the operating system, they will convert your instructions into zeros and ones, and they will execute and they will generate the response and send it back to the user. You no need to worry. Okay, so as a developer, as an engineer, your primary focus should be on focusing on building the application using the programming languages. Okay, you no need to worry about operating system and hardware. Okay, yes. So it is clear, right? So programming is the process of giving instructions to the computer, but computer understands only zeros and ones. Okay, so with these zeros and ones we cannot develop our applications. It is very impossible. So that's why in the industry, like we have programming languages. So those programming languages will allow us to write the instructions in human readable format, and the computer will automatically, the programs which will give the instructions to your hardware, and it will convert into zeros and ones, and it will give the response. This is clear. Okay, so what are those programming languages? Okay, industry we have three types of languages: machine level language, low level language, high level languages. Okay, so these machine level languages are, it will be represented in only zeros and ones. Okay, and these are very close to CPU. So CPU, since these are very close to CPU, so it will execute very fastly, guys. Okay, it will execute and very fastly. Okay, yes. So as I said earlier, so implement the social media or calculator or WhatsApp, anything only in zeros and ones, very difficult to overcome such challenges. Later they have implemented low level languages. Okay, it is like English like commands. Okay, English like commands instead of zeros and ones. Okay, so these are the commands, nothing but move. Okay, loading the value 10 to A, loading the value 20 to B. Okay, perform the addition of two variables A and B. Okay, yes. So if you assume these are in human readable format, right? These are in human readable format, right? Then but our system will understand only zeros and ones, right? So how does these English instructions will be converted to zeros and ones? Correct? Okay, so this assembly, let's assume this is an assembly language. So this assembly code, assembly language developer or vendors, so they will give another program called assembler. Okay, so what it does is it takes all your instructions and it will convert into machine code zeros and ones. They will follow some rules and principles according to your underlying operating system and memory and processor. Okay, then see, they will pass the zeros and ones to CPU, and CPU will execute and it will give the response. Okay, but what is the challenge here? Okay, when your application goes complexity, okay, you cannot, these commands are not enough to build your application. Okay, in such case you have to go for high level programming language. Okay, so these high level programming languages are very much similar to your English like statements, very much similar to your English like statements. Okay, the examples of high level languages are Python, Java, C++, C#. Okay, so every language they will come with the internal program called compiler or interpreter. So these programs will take all our English like statements and it will convert into zeros and ones, it will give to CPU, and CPU will execute the activity and it will generate the response, and you can see, user can see the response. Okay, so this is a basic Python program. Okay, so when you compare here, so we have to remember these commands and we have to load the values and we have to perform the addition, we have to remember this command again. Okay, but here, so just see, so in Python you no need to pass the commands. Okay, just create your variable with value and perform the action, that's it. It is very easy compared to low level language, right? Okay, so the underlying interacting with the OS, interacting with the memory, allocating the enough memory space to these values, okay, everything will be taken care by your Python interpreter. Okay, either compiler or interpreter. Okay, you no need to worry. Okay, so let's see the life cycle of Python program. We'll clearly see, I will explain clearly step by step of Python program execution in our upcoming videos. Okay, so this is our Python code. Okay, so the Python interpreter, it will take this code, it will generate the byte code. So this byte code will be converted into machine code by PVM, and CPU will take this machine code and it will generate the output, and you can see, user can see the output. Okay, so this is very easy, right? Okay, again I'm telling here, I am explaining very high level. Okay, we'll see complete life cycle of this program in our upcoming videos. And importantly, depends on time, we need to interact with the OS as well. Okay, OS as well. So we have special library called OS pathlib shuttle and all there. Okay, that we can see later in our upcoming videos. Okay, there are some chances we have to interact with the operating system as well. Okay, yes. Next, so this is an example of Java and this is an example of C. So just here compare. So in Python I have written only 3 lines, but when it comes to Java I have written more lines, and I have to remember all these access modifiers, class, and I have to define the main function, then I have to define the data type, and I have to use the print statement. Okay, and when it comes to C, I have to import the header files, and I have to return the main method, and I have to return the value. Okay, see, simple Python, 3 lines. So other programming language has to written multiple lines, and we have to follow some additional rules. Correct? So that's why generally Python is treated as a simple and less complex syntax language, and anyone can learn. Okay, even you are non-IT or college or school student, or anyone can learn this Python easily without any complexity. Okay, yes, I hope I have covered very well about this programming language, and we'll see more details in our upcoming videos. Okay, so this is about programming languages in the industry. Okay, in our next video we'll see what is Python, why we need to use Python, and Python installation and setup. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys. So if you have any doubts, okay, if you have any doubts, so you can always reach out to me on this number, either WhatsApp or direct call, so I will try to help you. Okay, that's all for this video, guys. So thank you.